I'd like to welcome you to Jeff's Changes for Life, Episode 1, The Foundation for Lasting Change. I'm so glad you're here, and if you are, then things may not be going quite as you had hoped. But don't worry, we'll get you there. Before we get started, I'd like to take care of the disclaimer. This program in no way, shape, or form is a substitute for anybody that needs professional, medical, or psychological treatment or care. Why is change so hard? It's not just about willpower, it's about how our minds are wired. Change challenges our comfort zones, triggers fear of the unknown, and often feels overwhelming. But here's the good news: change becomes easier when you understand why it feels so hard and how to work with your mind, not against it. In this video, we'll break down the real barriers to change and, more importantly, how to overcome them one step at a time. Let's get started. Just like you, I've searched for the ability to make changes for the better in my life, only to fall short in disappointment. I was certain there was something wrong with me. There has to be an answer that everyone else knows that I surely do not. That's why they succeed and I cannot. Even the simplest changes seemed impossible. Sound familiar? I know my choice of words won't describe everyone's voice in their head or their inner reasoning, but it's a place to start. Let's jump right in and talk about change. Simply put, it's doing something different than we've done before. Pretty simple, isn't it? If we look at it like this, then change is very simple. However, when we add everything else into the equation, the simple math rarely, if ever, works out. What am I talking about, you ask? Old procrastinative ways, old tapes, self doubt. You get the point. This list may not even have the reason that applies to you, but does it really matter that your elements are not listed here? No, it doesn't. Your reason means no more or no less to anyone else because the reason is equally important to all of us that can't make change, and it will lead to your inability to make your desired change. The point is, change is simple, but we complicate it. Without simplicity, it's almost impossible to make the desired change. Every change has to have a beginning, and in every single case, change begins with you. I'm going to repeat that because that is so important. Change begins with you, not your friends, family, acquaintances, peers, others' opinions, old tapes of horrific childhoods, someone's advice that, by the way, you won't know if it's any good or bad until you no longer need the advice. Too many times we involve, evoke, or rely on the judgment, opinions, or misguided directions, or even pressures of others. There is a multitude of reasons that we may do this. Maybe it's validation that we're doing the right thing, or it could be guidance because we're venturing into territory that conjures insecurity. Maybe you just need a reassuring pat on the back. Let's proceed with a question that I'm sure you've asked yourself more than you care to remember. So I'm going to answer this question once and for all. Is there a difference between you and the people that can make changes they want in their life? This may surprise you, but the answer is yes. Yes, there is a difference between them and you. Are you ready for the black and white answer? You are too hard on yourself. I am going to repeat that. You are too hard on yourself. You are critical of every thought and action, comparing, analyzing, justifying, denying, dismissing, and defending. Again, the list doesn't matter. Only the fact that these actions derail your successful pursuit of a goal where you wish for change. Relax. You are in the comfort of your own mind. I know for some, that very thought sent a bolt of insecurity, maybe even almost insanity, if you will, through your body. No one knows what you're thinking right now. It's okay to say you are too hard on you. I hate to break it to you, but everyone is insecure somewhere in their life, whether they say it or not. All of us have doubtful feelings or insecure moments when we are unsure of our ability. Life is tough enough without you beating up on yourself. So, to get this change into motion, I'm going to ask you to do something that I think most of you have never done. I'm going to ask you to forgive yourself. Did you just answer in your mind, forgive myself for what? What is it that you might need to forgive yourself for? Forgiveness truly means letting go of what hangs on you like an arduous weight. Let's simplify the process a bit so you can be more focused about what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness certainly can be about an act that was committed by someone. However, I'm referring to the daily remembrances that help alter your path of change. The first behavior that I would ask myself for forgiveness is forgive me for not believing in myself. Forgive me for not taking a chance on the beautiful me. Forgive me for not recognizing my individuality. Forgive me for not putting myself on an equal societal level with all others because I have as much to offer as anybody else, period. Forgive me for letting a set of circumstances dictate my future actions, even though the majority of times it has nothing to do with what's going on. History shows that every great idea or action derived from a single thought. You're listening to this program, therefore, you can think. And because you can think, you already have the ability to be the greatest you. Speaking of the greatest you, I want to offer something for you to think about for a minute. In this crazy scenario that we've come to know as our existence or life, there is no one on this planet like you. You are one of a kind, a masterpiece to the puzzle. You look and are built exactly the way you should have been. To me, that is incredible that there is no one on the planet like me or you, and there never will be again. So now that we understand how individually awesome we are, there are a couple of cleanings that we have to do. One of the most prevalent human emotions is denial. It's hard to take a true look at ourselves. I get that. However, without truth, we cannot move forward to perpetuate change. The bigger question would be, why do we deny? The answer is really very simple. If we admit, we must deal with our areas requiring change. Are you a person that looks the other way? If you're unwilling to operate in truth, then, my friend, you cannot make change. As we venture deeper into the foundation of change, it's of the utmost importance that we learn to identify what we can change and what we can't. By learning to do this, you're going to learn how to talk to yourself for success. You're going to learn the difference between an inner critic and a supportive coach. We're going to help you to understand that change begins with single daily achievements. Add those up at the end of the week. You celebrate. You're making change. Too many times we look at the grandiose picture, we get all fired up at the beginning. Instead of understanding, we don't want to get too high and we don't want to get too low. We're not looking for perfectionism, we're looking for consistency. Consistent action will result in the changes you want. We will explain the importance of self compassion, why being kind to yourself makes change easier, doesn't make you weaker. We'll also explore how guilt and shame sabotage progress. We are also going to implement accountability without punishment, building a progress tracking system that encourages rather than discourages, embracing the process, not just the outcome, shifting focus from I have to get there fast to I'm growing every day. So, just to name a few, what will Jeff's Changes for Life cover in future episodes? The science of habit formation, overcoming resistance and self doubt, building supportive environments for change, practical exercises and challenges. What are we so afraid of? And absolute acceptance, and so much more. I'm excited for you, and I'm thrilled that you've joined Jeff's Changes for Life. Take a minute to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when new videos arrive, you're one of the first to watch it. Any undertaking like this can be a daunting task. It can be eye-opening. It can be difficult at times, but don't worry, we're going to be here for you. As always, I'm Jeff with Jeff's Changes for Life. Hope you have an awesome day. And remember, today's going to rock because we're working on ourselves. And is there a better thing to do? Not when it's finding our peace and joy in our life.